Hi, I'm Gary Spencer-Smith of RevNyou Real Estate Education and Rental House Profits. To subscribe to our channel, click the subscribe button below and make sure you hit the little bell to get notified of all our top tips as they happen. Hi, this video we're going to be telling you how to grade your tenants. So why would you grade your tenants in the first place? Now, when I'm working with people and educating people on what they're doing, what type of real estate they want to get into, what type of properties they want to buy, what type of tenants they want to deal with, a simple way of helping people understand what they're willing to do is if they grade their tenants and also grade their properties. Now, where we have conflict is when we have a homeowner that thinks their property is of a certain grade when really it's a lower grade and they want a higher grade tenant. So how do we grade tenants? We grade tenants into, just like you would at school, you get A, B, C, D, E, and F. F being you're never ever going to invent to them. Now, I only recommend dealing with tenants who are A, B, or C, and we'll explain why. An A tenant is someone who could really buy a house. If they wanted to, they could go out and buy a house, but they just choose not to. You know, they're professional people, they're working, they could be family, they have good money, they clean up after themselves. But the critical thing is they also think like a homeowner. They don't think like tenants. So when something breaks, they'll fix it. They're the type of people when you show up to the house after 6 months with their birthday card or their Christmas basket, they'll turn around and they'll be like, oh, by the way, just so you know, the door lock's broke, I got them fixed, don't worry about it, it's all sorted, thanks very much. That would be your A-type tenant, the types of tenant where you don't even have to think about them. You know, you forget you've even got some of these tenants because they might live in that house for 3-4 years, the rent's always paid on time, if not ahead of time, they never have any arguments about rental increases, they understand how the market works. That's your A-type tenant. Now, your B-type tenant, and this is a lot of the market that I deal in. These are the people that are professional working people. They earn decent money, but they live check to check. Now, this is a large portion of the population. They live month to month and they live by the monthly bills. So if something happens in their life, like, they get injured or, their car breaks down and they have a big expense come up, it might be a struggle for them. They've got to start juggling things to be able to make rent. Now, they do keep the houses tidy. It might not be as tidy as an A tenant. I mean, an A tenant, that's the person that would be, you walk in the house and it's like a show home. A B tenant, that's someone that lives in a house. So there's going to be some wear and tear, I would class myself as much as I want to say I'm an A tenant, I'm a B tenant. I like to live in my house, We've got pets, all those kind of things. So the house does get some wear and tear, so there will be some maintenance, and they'll probably not do it. That's probably something. As the turnover of tenants come around, you'll have to go in and repaint, you may have to clean your floors up, that kind of stuff. That's your B-type tenants. But these are people that, they believe in paying the rent, it's important to them getting their bills paid, they don't have, the life's not upside down. Now, a C tenant is someone that may be on some form of assistance, they may need to live 2 people to a house, they may have to room share to make the bills so that neither of them could do it by themselves. So if one tenant moves out, that other person couldn't afford to keep that house running. They also might not be the best at maintaining their property. They might need the odd reminder of, hey, you know what, I drove past, can you cut your lawn? Might not be that regular, but you know what, they do need coached, I guess. I find a lot of C tenants are younger tenants. So it's people that are just starting out, just getting their first place, They may have had mom and dad doing everything for them all their lives and they may not understand. They may not even know what needs to be done. So they might need educated and coached along into how to live in a house. That would be a C-type tenant. Now, anything below that, the D, E's and F's, I typically don't want to be dealing in that field. Now, they are around, but I don't want to deal with them. Now, I also grade the houses A, B, and C. Now, you want to make sure that you put an A tenant in an A house. You want to put a B tenant in a B house or a C house, and you only want to put a C tenant in a C-type house. Now, what is an A-type house? Your A-type house, that's your show home. That's your pristine home. Your B-type house is your, you might be a 1970s build, it's being upgraded, but it's an older home, it's more, there's a bit of wear and tear in it, let's just say. But it's still a nice place. And then your C tenant, that's your your basic countertops, your basic kitchens. If stuff breaks, it's easy and affordable to replace. That will be your C-type tenants. And again, the only time we ever have issues is if you have someone that believes the house is an A house when really it's a C house and they want A-type tenants. That's when there's a bit of conflict going on. So our pro tip for this week and our bonus tip would be every time you get a rental application and you meet someone, you're always grading your tenants. And you want to grade them with an A, B, or C. So you want to judge people. And you want to judge them A, B, or C, grade them, and then grade the houses and make sure you match the right house to the right tenant, and you'll alleviate a lot of your headaches and a lot of your problems. So grade your tenants A, B, or C.